Good afternoon. We start with that breaking news this afternoon, and a Blue Origin rocket has exploded during a ground test in Florida. Jeff Bezos' space company was carrying out a routine test at the time. Live now to our correspondent Rob Scott with the details from the US. Rob, good afternoon from here. Was anyone on board this?
Afternoon, Tash. No, thankfully not. This wasn't a crewed mission. This was Blue Origin conducting what's known as a static fire test of its New Glenn mega rocket out there at the Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral in Florida a little over an hour ago. Now, what a static fire test is it means the rocket's engines are ignited, but the rocket itself stays locked down to the launch pad. As you can see, something has gone wrong, causing a huge explosion. This was a test ahead of what was going to be that same rocket's fourth launch in a number of weeks. The aim of this project is to take satellites into space. Now, Blue Origin thankfully says that all of its workers have been accounted for. No reports of any injuries or fatalities. It doesn't know what's gone wrong, or hasn't said at least anyway. All it said so far is, quote, an anomaly occurred. This likely means that Blue Origin will now have to hit pause on this New Glenn project for quite some time as it tries to figure out what the problem is. Elon Musk, the owner of rival space company SpaceX, he has put out a statement on his X account saying that most unfortunate, rockets are hard. That explosion, as you can see there, quite frightening, could be seen from many, many kilometres away.
And Rob, also, this company involved in this explosion today won a major contract earlier this week for a mission to the moon, right?
It certainly did, Tash. Yeah, NASA has actually granted a $188 million contract for Blue Origin to take up lunar rovers and bits of equipment up to the lunar surface, up to the moon, part of a program to build a lunar base up there in the coming weeks. Now, what this explosion means for that project, we also don't know yet. Clearly, an investigation just beginning now. That's going to take a number of weeks to get to the bottom of what caused that huge accident. Harsh.
Rob Scott joining us there with that breaking news this afternoon. Thank you. Beloved musician and Australian broadcaster James Valentine will soon be farewelled in a public memorial at Sydney's Town Hall. Let's go to our chief reporter Chris Reason. Chris, good afternoon. The service will start shortly.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, Tash. A sad and difficult day for many, but of course James Valentine didn't want it to be so. He wanted this today to be a celebration. If you wanted an indication of just how much connection, how many fans, how much love and adoration perhaps that Valentine had, take a look at this. These are the queues to get into Town Hall here in Sydney in the centre of the CBD. This queue goes all the way down George Street and turns right down into Bathurst Street as well. We're talking thousands of people. It will be at capacity today. We've seen some big names walk in already. Actor Richard Roxburgh, In Excess's Kirk Pengilly, Andrew Denton. I've got a list of others that are going in. Those names are embargo, but it will be quite a farewell today, including some of Australia's biggest showbiz stars performing here inside Town Hall. We learned about James's diagnosis in March of 24, but it was last year he was told the cancer was terminal. He said he had two options to take in his treatment. He wanted to take the option that was least invasive and the one where he could celebrate his own life. He did that to the full. We know his life has been an extraordinary one. Born 1961, Ballarat, the son of a car dealer dad and a radio presenter mum, hints of his future there. Before he went into music, played with some phenomenal bands before starting his own, of course, the Models, and then 1987 decided to take a break, a pivot in his life, and then began his TV and radio broadcasting career. More than 20 years with ABC 702, and it was at that time that people like this and the Sydney audience really connected with him. He was a phenomenal broadcaster by any definition and a much loved man. We also saw that he held his own living wake just months ago, in fact on Valentine's Day, Tash, in February, and at that occasion at Clovelly Surf Club, 180 of his nearest and dearest got to celebrate his life with James on that very special day. His family said it was simply a phenomenal moment. Today, though, will be about saying farewell to him with friends and family and fans here as well. We know the Governor-General is going to be joining Sam Mosson as well as a host of other dignitaries and celebrities. Tash, it begins at 12:30, which was the time his show used to begin, of course, as well.
Chris Reason, thank you so much. James, such an extraordinarily talented musician and broadcaster. He will be missed. Chris Reason, thank you. Property lobby groups claim the controversial tax changes in the budget will increase rents by nearly $500 a year by 2030. Live to Josh Martin, Parliament House in Canberra. Josh, good afternoon. Now, this new modelling calls into question the government's figures.
Tash, that's right. It's a case of lies, damned lies and statistics. Whose numbers do you believe? Modelling commissioned by Master Builders, the Property Council and Real Estate Institute claims the changes to negative gearing and the capital gains tax discount will have a worse effect than Treasury stated in the budget. The Quave and Tulipwood figures say rents will go up by $9 a week or $477 a year, whereas the budget said $2 a week in terms of supply. The industry says there'll be an 8,000 home shortage, whereas Treasury claims there'll be 12,000 extra houses. The budget is funding a $2 billion infrastructure fund for the states, and Labor says because negative gearing changes are grandfathered, existing property investors have no excuse to jack up their rents.
Is there a chance your modelling is incorrect?
No, well, we'll back the officials in Treasury who are employed by the public to do this modelling in the public interest, not in the interest of vested interests.
This decision by the federal government is all about reducing supply. That is not only not good for builders, it is not good for the Australian community.
These new housing changes, these toxic taxes, are actually going to reduce the number of houses built and push up rents, making it harder for Australians to get into their first home.
And Josh, in other political news this afternoon, Tony Abbott will return to the political arena in a major way this afternoon.
That's right, Tash. We are expecting the former Prime Minister to be endorsed as the new Liberal Party federal president. The party's federal council is meeting at Crown in Melbourne this afternoon, and many see the move to Abbott as a reaction to the rise of Pauline Hanson and One Nation as the coalition defends its right flank.
Tony Abbott belongs in a museum, not running the possible alternative government of Australia.
Despite those comments, Labor will need no reminding that Tony Abbott is a solid campaigner after he took down Julia Gillard in 2013, Tash.
Josh Martin, thank you.